Hey, it's MK, and I am here with my last layout using the 49 and Market Rust and Revs collection. So I went to my stash and made a title out of these gray alphas, and they are actually these moldy press. I don't really think you're supposed to use them as alphas. I don't remember, but anyways, they've been working really great for me. I love the size. I also pulled in these foam sticker titles from Simple Vintage Essentials by Simple Stories. And then, of course, from this kit, I have the enamel stickers. These lots of pieces, rub-ons, laser cut pieces, die cut pieces, just a mixture of things. Leftover strips that I cut for a previous layout. I'm gonna try to use these pieces as well, but spoiler alert, they don't make the layout. I also have some of my rub-ons available. Because I really wanted to do a background using all of these roadie bits. And I especially loved the one with the twists and the turns because that's the road that my best friend and I were on, and I wanted to document that. So I've got all of my photos. I've got some printed in 3x4s, some printed in 2x3s, and then 4x6s. I'm going to bring in this rusty polka dot one more time, see if I can actually make it happen. I have my favoritist paper out of this entire collection saved up for this specific layout. See if I can use that. And then of course I saved the roadie sign, which on the back side I believe was the maps. Yes, it was the maps on the other side. So I'm going to try to use that layout as well. I'm going to make a 2-page layout using these papers. I really wanted to try to utilize all of these papers because I think this is all that I have left. But for right now, I'm going to go and map my photos using this polka dotted rusty color. And I'm going to check and see if I have enough of it for my photos. And yes, I do. In fact, I end up not using one of these photos, which is the sign where my girlfriend and I finally made it to Idaho. So I'm going to go ahead and outline all of my bits and pieces because that's where I probably will want my rub-ons to go. Now at this point I have no idea how this layout is going to look or turn out or anything. This little teeny tiny photo over here on the right side page was actually us going up to Idaho, and then all of the other photos are us coming back from. We decided to stop at the dam and take some pictures and whatnot, some selfies, and see how we liked them. So I'm going to go ahead and use my favoritist ripping tool ever. It's my ripping ruler that I created for the shop. They will not be seen again until mid-December, you guys. I've had a lot of people ask me what's up and where can they get them. They are available in the Some Assemblage Required website. However, they are sold out until I can get them restocked, which I'm looking at mid-December for those. All right, so here before I cut into the paper, I was like, oh, I better check and see what it is that I'm doing first, because I'm not sure I can cover the entire layout with all of these bits and pieces that I have going on here. I kind of like it, but I'm not sure. Is it too busy? In the background, well, do I want it to go a different direction? No, I think that's too busy. Let me flip it over. And to be honest, I love how this looks. I love how the map paper looks like it continues all the way underneath the little strips of flashing paper that I have all the way into the plaid. But now if I do this, which I love, I won't be able to use my rub-ons because the rub-ons will get lost in the background with how busy the background is. No matter what I do, I won't be able to add my rub-ons. So, decisions. Do I want to use these rub-ons? Well, that's why I picked these papers or these photos to begin with, is because I wanted to use those rub-ons, especially that little swervy, curvy road, because that is what Mountain City Highway is like when you head up to Boise. Well, a portion of it is nothing but swerves and curves. So now I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to go back to my original design with the little strips on the side, planking my photos, so that way I have a nice white space to play with my rub-ons. So I decided that I'm going to only use a little bit of this road sign road map paper. and put it and tuck it underneath my plaid paper, and then go ahead and extend the flashing paper behind my photos. Nobody will notice that it doesn't go all the way down, except when I tell you. And then go ahead and just build my my panels like this. So that's what I decided to go on, and then have my photos in the center, so that way I have plenty of space to play with my rub-ons. That's the problem with all this gorgeous paper, and that you want to use it all on one layout, but yet you have these gorgeous rub-ons as well, that, and gorgeous might not be the right word because they're kind of manly, but you have all these rub-ons that you also want to play with. So you have to leave a little bit of white space, unless I was to put all of these rub-ons on white cardstock and fussy cut them out. Now, I don't have time for that, so that was not going to happen. So here I am fussy cutting out all of the rub-ons that I want to use for this layout, and it ends up being quite a bit because I wanted to make sure that I had enough to, I don't know, for cluster bases, I guess, is what I'm looking for. But I end up actually, yeah, it ends up just basically filling almost the whole layout by the time I'm done. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and start attaching my papers. But first, I am going to cut off all this white stuff because it just does not look good when I take my edge distressing and I have only half of the paper. Because when you rip a piece of paper, it doesn't rip clean, because paper is really a bunch of layers put together, and then that's where you get your, what is that called? Your paper, it's a paper weight or paper, poundage, right? The number that the paper comes with is how many layers of paper you have glued together. And so when you rip it, it creates a layer. And so when I go to distress said layers after they've been ripped, the single layers, the littler layers don't like that very much. They don't like to be distressed up and whatnot. So anyways, I go ahead and I cut all that off, so that way my distressing looks better. That's the word. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead using my pencil marks as a guide. I'm going to slightly tuck in my embossing, or nope, my rub-ons, so that way they look like they are behind the photos instead of on top of the photos or above the photos. So I'm going to use my pencil line. Now, keep in mind, my pencil line is actually a little less than what the photos are, because I put my pencil at an angle and draw underneath my photos. Because the last thing I want is an oopsie of having my pencil line show up and I didn't cover it with a rub-on or an embellishment or something like that. And so I definitely did not want my pencil lines to be seen, but I still like the idea of my rub-ons being tucked underneath my photos, right? So that is what I'm doing, is I'm going off of my pencil line, even though some of the rub-ons might get covered up a little bit too much. I still think it works for the effect I was going for. All right, so here I am doing it again. I'm tearing off the little pieces that just are not playing nice with my edge distresser, which I think I ended up just using my finger, which is random. I think what was happening was that I just realized how distressed it already was and just kind of fluffed it up with my fingers. Ran out of adhesive, so I had to go and change that. That's awfully annoying, you guys. I just, there needs to be like some sort of warning that, hey, you're running out pretty soon or something. I don't know. It's just a time killer. No, not time killer, but creative. I don't know. It just interrupts my creativeness, basically. So over here, I've got a couple little nooks and crannies that can be filled in. That was created by how I have my photos laid out on my layout. And normally, when I do these types of layouts, back in the past, I should say, not normally, but back in the past, I used to keep all of my photos not in alignment, but they never overlapped like I am doing now. On these specific on this specific layout, I've got quite a bit of overlap because I have a lot of dead space in some of my photos, and so I find that my scrapbook style evolves quite often. And so this is just something that I like to note to myself more or less, or point out that I usually don't overlap my photos. But lately I have been loving overlapping my photos. Oh, and did you see that? This is where I forget that I'm putting a rub-on on to actually rub it on, and I still have the clear sticker part, and so yeah, it I rubbed a rub-on on top of the packaging, and so when I finished rubbing the rest of the rub-on on, it came right off, because that's what I do. It's a good thing I had lots of these little rusty dots hanging out. So I thought it was kind of cool to add a little bit of polka dots, even though some of them you can't see by the time that I am done decorating the rest of the layout. I just thought it was kind of fun because I used that rusty polka dotted paper for the back of my photos, which I, up close and in person, you can see it, right? It makes sense. And so, of course, it doesn't make sense now, but up close in person, you can see that the photo mats have polka dots on it. All right, so my first attempt at putting my my pictures down, I glued my large one too high. I should have started on one side or the other of the pencil line, but I wasn't thinking clearly, and so I had to pull one up, put it back down. Now I'm just zooming right through, putting all these layouts down, and as you can see, the rub-ons are tucking underneath beautifully. It's almost like it was meant to be, and I love that effect. There's nothing wrong with having the rub-on sit above the photo, but I just think that it adds a little bit more when it's tucked under, like it was part of the paper to begin with. So now I'm going to go ahead and distress ink the edges of these road borders, the road borders, because I felt like the stark whiteness of the back that they were cut out of was just way too white. I'm going to use this giant compass to help with my title. So put my title right up on top there in that little gap. And then I've got a couple other stickers. It's a little something awesome and embrace the moment from the Simple Stories pack that I just wanted to bring in for a little bit more unique road words, right? Just something else, because I mean, I love when Janae and I are spontaneous and we just, hey, let's stop and do this, or let's deviate from the plan and go and do this. I just absolutely love it, because I feel like we're cautious, but we love a good adventure too. So this was just super fun, especially when I was taking pictures as she was driving by all the river, because this road lines up with a river, and we got to this dam place, and she's like, that came out wrong. It was a dam pull-off area. That came out wrong too. But anyways, and she asks me, she's like, so do you want to stop and, stretch our legs and whatnot? And it's like, sure. I've never stopped on this road ever. I take it all the time, but not all the time like it's a daily driver, because it is going all the way up to Idaho. But I do use it when I go up to Idaho. And so this was quite interesting that I got to stop. And of course, I love it when, I get to share this experience with one of my favorite peoples on the planet. So this was fun. All right. So this is a little choppy because I was distressing the edges of all of my little road signs, but I decided road signs, but I decided not to distress the edges of all the license plates. And for some reason, I felt obligated that I needed to use all of them on this one layout. And by the time that I had scattered them in all of my embellishment clusters, which I have 3 clusters and a title, so technically 4 clusters, by the time that I did end up spreading them out, they did not seem like they were too much at all. So it was absolutely perfect. Normally, I try to include the title in a cluster, which this one ends up becoming a cluster, but I do end up with 3 clusters and a title instead of 2 clusters and a title cluster, right? So it's just interesting. Down at the bottom, I've got a little something what does it say? A little, move my arm. Can you please move your arm? Yeah. A little something awesome, unexplored adventure. So that was kind of cool. And then detour ahead, because that is exactly what we did, was we took a little detour. And I love the big giant embossing or rub-on of the road with the, well, it's a rub-on pre-made cluster. I just love it because it's got the windy road that I wanted, but not the road that I was looking at using. I just decided that I didn't have room for it. I definitely could have probably made it work on this layout, but in the moment it did not. And I just kept going with what it was that I was doing. And by the time that I am done, I just absolutely loved how this layout turned out, with all the road signs and the license plates tucking in. And I still was able to add the yellow chevrons that I tried to use on all of my construction layouts, but I had a couple saved for here. And it wasn't that I saved them. I set them. I did not have any intention of saving any of them. But I had a few left over from my construction layouts. And so this was absolutely perfect. I put embrace the moment up there, especially with the detour ahead, which is exactly kind of what detours are, right? It's embracing the moments. So I thought that was pretty cool. I just really loved how this layout turned out. I really did. It made me smile. It really did. So I'm going to go ahead and keep going on. I found this little road closed sign, which the road wasn't closed, but it looked good. I want my title to be Open Road Adventure. And when I put my word adventure on my photo, I thought to myself, oh shoot, I should have put it on the other photo where it shows the open road instead of above our head. Because there's a lot more dead space and it probably would have showed up better. But I already put it on the photo and it was stuck. Like, there's no going back now. So I do also like the fact that it is closer to the open road word. So now it does read Open Road Wild Horse Dam Adventure, because of the sign that I put in between my title and the rest of the title. So I thought it worked out really well depending on how you read it. And it just ended up coming together that way. So here is my finished layout. I'm so super excited that I did get a road adventure layout done with this collection, because when I first glanced at it, I had no clue that it was, road construction and road travel or a travel kit collection at all. So yeah, I definitely was excited to at least get one of these in for this week. All right, you guys, stay tuned. If you guys don't mind hanging on for a little bit, at the end of this video, I do have my leftover share, because that was supposed to be the video for today, but I had too many layouts that I'm going to share with you guys now. So here is a little bit of a layout share for the leftovers. Okay, and I just wanted to share with you guys my leftovers that I have from this kit. I have to say, you guys, at first my initial thought was a little disappointed, and I didn't give the kit enough credit, but look at all these layouts that I was able to create, and I still have leftovers, if you can see up here. So for my leftovers, I have lots of the rub-ons, but they're all over the place. So I've got rub-ons over here. I've got rub-ons on my little tray right here. So I've got lots of rub-ons left over. Then on top of the rub-ons, my enamel dots, or puffy, nope, they're not puffy, they're more like enamel. I think they call them wishing bubbles. I don't really know what they call them now. So I've got those. My laser cut pieces I have totally disassembled. So I have this giant laser cut piece here in the back, and then I've got a couple pieces here, and then I have some that are in here that are just on the little smaller side. Okay, so not a whole lot of laser cut pieces left over. Inside here, I've got some, what are they called? Die cut pieces. So I didn't use any of these, and they were my favorite. I have a little bit of rub-on still in here. This was a branding strip that I cut up in case I wanted to use it. Some die cuts in here. These are also some die cuts. And then the ones with the white outline were actually cut aparts from the packaging. So I have those. These are also cut aparts. More rub-ons. Let me put that up there. So these are also the fussy cut out pieces from the packaging. And then I have these giant pieces here, as well as a ton of these titles that I did not end up using. I do want to use like Boy Meets World and Pedal to the Metal for when my kids start driving. Some of them are driving, but like I have a few pictures of one of my sons, and then the other ones aren't quite there, but I want to use this one for my daughter. It says just one of the guys, so I've got that. The Brothers Are Forever. I'm not really sure how I'm going to use that, but I know I want to. I've got Mischievous and Handsome, which I think are pretty cool for boys, and then Mr. Fix-It, which I could pretty much put with any of my photos of my husband. So I've got those for not a whole lot of leftovers, you guys. I'm ignoring this bin here because these were all of my acrylic and wood veneer, and then the flare from Scrap and Happy Studio. So I've got that. I also pulled out these for when I was doing my construction of the bathroom, and then I did not end up, I didn't end up using them. I actually forgot. I have these two pieces that I thought were going to be pretty cool that I fussy cut out and cut along from one of those pre-made looking layouts. So I've got those. I have this piece left over from making my open road layout. I've got this piece here, which is the road map on one side and then the signs on the other that I used. I have some frames, not a whole lot, but some left over. So I've got those. I've got a little bit of this piece left, super fun. A little bit of the wood grain left. And then I have one sheet, one whole sheet left. That was pretty cool. I just didn't want to use it for my bathroom one because I felt like it was going to be wasteful. All right, so that is what I have. I probably will end up bringing these back in January because most of them are scraps, and that'll be fun to play with for scraps, and then get to mix them up with other pieces. Anyways, I am curious to see what kind of scraps you guys have left over, so don't forget to go check out our Facebook group and join us over there and share with us what scraps you have left over from a kit that was either this kit or similar to if you're playing along with our kit conspiracy. So please don't forget that you guys can make kits based off of either this type of theme, the colors, things like that. So you guys you don't have to use the exact same papers that we use in order to play along with us. All right, you guys, again, I will check you guys all later. Bye.